Planning variables and delivery. The planning performance domain is to proactively develop an approach to create the project deliverables. Because each project is unique, the amount, timing, and frequency of the planning varies. With that, there are variables that influence how project planning is conducted. Some examples are the development approach that is used to execute the project. This can influence how much, and when planning is conducted. The project deliverable, because depending on the deliverable, you may need to plan in a specific way. For example, a construction project will require significant upfront planning for things like the design and purchasing materials versus a technology project, which will need iterations based on stakeholder feedback. Organizational requirements like policies, procedures, processes, and culture in the organization can shape a project from start and finish. Market conditions. This could be things like being in a highly competitive environment. You may undertake a minimum amount of upfront planning as the need to get to market is more important, and legal or regulatory restrictions. Think of construction again. You would need to get permits from the city before you start building. These things you would have to take into consideration before you start your project. When it comes to delivery, planning begins with understanding the business case, stakeholder requirements, and the project and product scope. The product scope is the features and functions that characterize a product, service, or result. A project scope is the work performed to deliver a product, service, or result with the specified features and functions. Once you know and understand your product and project scope, you can determine which approach you want to use to deliver the project. You can use predictive planning. This starts with the high-level project deliverables up front, and then it's broken down into more detail. This approach can use a scope statement and/or a work breakdown structure, also called WBS, to break the scope down into lower levels of detail. Projects that use iterative or incremental approaches can have high-level themes or epics that are broken down into features, which are then further broken down into user stories and other backlog items. This approach defers a decision to allow the project team to consider multiple options until the cost of the future delay exceeds the benefit. It reduces waste by not expending time in developing plans for work that may change or may not be needed. That's it for the planning variables and delivery. If you need help keeping track of studying for the PMP, get a free study planner plus bonus tips about the exam. Link for your planner is in the description below.